Where'd it go? There you
go. You gotta regret Olivia ain't on here saying you're late. I was late.
Whatever.
Yes. Wait, let me stick with my routine. Because Devin Sarah said I do it every Monday. If I don't, then they'll think I got delivered.
God forbid if you're delivered for it from that.
Hi, Doris.
Good morning, Kashonda, Diana, Doris. Good morning.
Damn. Ain't no good morning. Oh, Lyric.
Yes, it is. It's a very good morning.
Cup? She put good morning up there with no coffee cup. Is that people who work?
They work to their ways. Don't forget this. Go ahead and share this. Share this as we begin shortly.
Good morning. Well, I don't mispronounce his name.
What's up, Elder Brown?
Oh, double this morning. Yes. Did you read my Facebook post about Josh's birthday? Man, I am almost 52 and feeling it. I can't do all that preaching and then hanging out like that. Man, I'm feeling the age.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's Monday with the Moores.
I am Terrence Moore.
I am. Good morning,
Imelda.
Carol family.
It's Monday, everybody, and we're coffeeed up. I'm meditated up. I went into a deep meditation this morning.
See, when people meditation like that, they need to be someplace on the toilet on their own time. You need to kill
you said the toilet. You did not say.
Mm-hmm. You need to go somewhere with that. I mean, I believe in meditation.
Man, this morning was crazy. It was crazy. It was super extended. I couldn't even, she was trying to call me. I couldn't even hear her call me.
Whatever the Lord got for you.
Man, it was good. Well, apparently I needed it. It was, whoa.
Oh. All right, life update.
What's the life update?
So yesterday we celebrated our old firstborn son and my firstborn son. My child. They're really mine. Terrence, donor.
I told her I just married her because she was just a good field of planning. So I figured that she had good brains. So I'm like, hey, you're a great candidate. Good morning, Dion.
So we celebrated his 24th birthday on yesterday, and very excited about that. He's just been a blessing. He's a good son, great son, anointed, excellent, up and coming leader. Born leader. So we're excited. We celebrated Joshua's birthday. And this week, and yesterday I continued to preach, man.
Jesus, Christmas.
Shadow survivors. And we are continuing our summer journey.
That was awesome.
Shadow survivors. And if you were there, give up some heart.
Whoa,
Shadow survivors.
Man.
You were there in spirit, Diane. Shadow survivors.
Man.
And
Dad about to have an attitude.
Oh no, get your coffee cup, D.
He about to have an attitude.
I think this is the first series I don't even know where I feel like I really want to do some type of media commentary around it about shadow survivors. And it's a very, very long time, many, many years I've been ministering the gospel that I actually have gone through my own deliverance at the same time of ministering. I did that in my early years of preaching and now find myself back in that same realm, but there's nothing new under the sun. It's for my own growth and maturity and development right along with God's people as we grow together. And that's amazing, amazing, amazing. And we are excited. I'm excited. man, it's been a long journey.
Mhm.
Heading back home on next week. Very busy week to celebrate my parents' pastoral retirement.
Yes.
Boys and I will be flying out
Morning,
first.
Brandy.
And Brandy.
Miss Iberia.
Miss Iberia.
The media. Madam, mistress.
Good morning, Brandy.
Master. Masteress.
Good morning, Brandy.
Saved in the city.
Get documents and disappear. I ain't say nothing.
Nothing? You know how folk are. You know, these highfalutin media folk.
Right.
Excuse me, media, musical, musician folk.
So we'll be heading to Charleston, and I tell you what, we're excited. I worked very closely with my parents, and very excited. We're going to kick off. We have some family coming in, so we got some family events planned. It's been a long planning period, and then on Friday night we're going to kick it off. My father is big into music, hence. My love of music and the boys' love of music and their musical talent.
Oh my God.
And my sister, her family are all musicians. So it's very, very interesting.
Music is in the family.
Grandsons there in the music arena on Friday night. And on Saturday, we have the actual luncheon. So we're excited about that. And then Sunday, they actually have a camp that they established for the years of pastoring at their final charge. There are camp families coming in. So to wrap it all up, so yours truly, very nervous. I think it's a big honor to minister in my dad's weekend. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm excited about what God is doing, excited about God's people, excited about the liberation and the opportunity to get out of the box of fear, of touching lives. And when I say touching lives, oh my gosh, truly touching God's people's lives. And it's been a long time coming.
Absolutely.
You can minister from a box, but it's different to minister outside of barriers and boundaries. And I can't explain that. You take that actually with you throughout the day. Do things outside of your box and boundaries of fear, and allow it to just give you positive energy and good vibes and great return. So, we had Summer Saturday with the singles. For the singles for this past Saturday. For somebody throw me up. I'm just like,
how you doing, Dr. Reed and Sarah? Good morning.
Man, I tell you what.
Saturday was
phenomenal.
Awesome.
It is truly going to be really, really difficult to stop on this summer. Definitely will be following up and continuing, I think, with just some writings from the two of us. We are very comfortable. God has caused us to melt, our ministries to melt into one.
Absolutely.
And I believe that's a process of any relationship. And we are at that point to be a living demonstration of its challenges, difficulties, and triumphs. And again, very, very excited about that.
I think the Summer Saturdays for the single has been extraordinary. We approached it from a different perspective and very real. We don't focus a lot on relationship, but we just tie it to life, entrepreneurship.
Yeah, but we do answer the relationship questions.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship, finances, education. Really being able to be successful with that. And that has been very, very, very important.
Yeah, very much so. So for our story, this is really about our story. We've kind of popped around all over the place. But one of the things I think I said was key was the fact that this was any relationship, you have to give it time. And you have to allow it to simmer. Anything that's put on high fire, high boiling rates of moving forward will not be able to last over a period of time. It's like boiling water, right?
Right.
You can boil it.
So any singles who don't want to be singles anymore?
What was I supposed to do? I said, it was so you're supposed to give me feedback.
So
read your inbox. That's okay.
Don't want to be single.
If you want to sign.
Oh
something,
yeah. Pretty much, Dr. Reed. If any singles who don't want to be single anymore, that definitely. But also we focused on, you know, the state. Yeah. Even if in the state you're in, if you're single and you want to be more educated, you know, that is really your realm. Education is your realm. Also, those who are in finances, how do I deal with my finances being single? And if I do meet someone and they're not very financial, how do I deal with that? So we cover, you know, we cover a lot of common sense stuff. And we're realizing that people just didn't know how to handle things, didn't know how to approach.
I think also there comes where we're shattering shame.
Right, exactly.
It's the process of shattering shame and having that place where it's okay to ask and not feel like you're supposed to know.
Just check it. Mm-hmm.
So if a person does not want to be single anymore, I think we dealt with that from two avenues from the jump, right? But to say that, one of the things I'll relate it back to Monday with the Moors.
Mm-hmm.
I was not we talked about work-life balance, and we don't believe in balance, about priorities. And in that priority, it was no longer a priority on my list to be involved with someone else. I had reached a point where I was really focusing on I started my master's, finished it here in Wisconsin, but I started in my home,
right,
in Charleston. And at that time, I had gotten to the point where I've just made bad decisions, and I found myself chasing. So I just kind of laid low. And people do feel, and I do believe, that you can be overdone being single, meaning that you've been baked and well cooked and kind of been single too long. And that's where you're on the focus of the future. And one of the things we said, men don't marry for the moment, they marry for their future. Their focus is that future. And in that, you can't look for what looks familiar. If it's familiar, it's not your future.
Right.
And what you created. Also, the healthiest relationships are found in the venue of your purpose, which for us, the future unfolded in education.
Not in ministry.
And not in ministry, not in teaching. I think the ministry was a bonus. It was just it's a discipline and practice of our faith. But the education shines in ministry. Mm-hmm. It shines in our vocation. And so it all comes together. So it's for your future, although you may be doing something now. Now, whatever that future venue or wherever you're navigating towards is more than likely the place where love will begin to emerge, unfold. I don't believe in finding it. I believe in its evolution.
Absolutely.
And that's another crippling effect, I think, for people to change their idea and context of what love looks like. You got to put a lot of work into love to make it healthy and to make it last and nourishing.
And people don't realize, as cliche-ish as it is, you do have to love yourself before someone can love you. For a man, you have to love yourself, know who you are before you find a woman, and a woman has to love herself and who she is before she can be found. If you have a very low opinion of yourself, no man is going to find you in a low place and no identity. Right. So we kind of touched on that, with the singles.
Yeah. Oh, we found
and get more real later on after
the afterset.
Afterlife.
And I feel like the things that were my struggles before were my struggles within our marriage. And those, I just had someone to help me champion those things and to keep me accountable. The biggest blessing for me is to be we grew, mm-hmm. and this is part of our story.
Yes.
Absolutely. We grew to trust each other with the truth. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Somebody give me a heart. Man. Give me one heart. Give me one heart if you get that.
That trusting your mate with the truth, that's something else.
You could say, I trust you all you want.
Exactly.
And you might trust them. But
love you, Dr. Reed. Take care.
Trusting them with the truth. And the truth of me was I had poor money management. I came in with bills. We did not know how to communicate our weaknesses, our faults, because you're coming out of this realm of dating and being engaged and putting on your best. And now you put on your best only to undress, right?
All the makeup come off, all the bad habits and everything come out, and all of me came out after we started living together.
And I think
all of me.
We were living together when we were married. Let me say that. But to
we
trust you with
we didn't live together
truth,
before we got married.
Are you still going to love me and want me when you find out about me?
The other side.
The other side, man. That's the fact of when you go into the bathroom and that you snore, that you whatever.
These little habits that you didn't even think that's going to be oppositional,
right? And if you're not careful,
or annoying,
your habits can be shameful, and next thing you know, you're hiding.
Mm-hmm.
You're embarrassed about who you are, which means you're not in full reception,
right?
And reception of the other person, and not been transparent and walked in with an element of full scope truth.
Now, see,
we grew into being trusting and full-fledged truthful.
Now, see, people will use that, say, well, this is exactly why we lived together before we get married. And the reality of it is, that in your mind, that sounds right.
Change.
It's a whole different animal after I do.
You know why they're comfortable? I think people, I'm not downplaying it if that's your decision and that's your prerogative. But the bottom line is, in the back of your mind, you always have not to have one, you say, but it's something about legal the loyalty and the legality of that loyalty.
And I would say
loyalty is legal, period.
And
loyalty is legal.
And I think even more important, which makes things even on a totally different level, is the fact that there is a commitment that you're making before God.
Right.
The fact that this is that's the step above legality, is the fact that you are making this commitment in the presence of your Creator, in the presence of a holy God, in the presence of a people that honor the relationship and understand the sacredness of marriage, is the fact that you're doing this in front of such a higher level, I would say a heavenly government that says this is so different. It supersedes anything that you can or think of or imagine.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so awesome.
So, and I think, with the shame, that's a big thing that probably was something that plagued our marriage for years, of shame and not wanting to disappoint each other. And you'd want to do that even on your job, your boss. It's hard to tell someone, just, this is really going to be on my blog. Check my blog out this week. I'm going to actually post something today about the difference between failing and falling. And in that, shame will keep, shattering shame is a huge process of deliverance, and it's also an establishment of being transparent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that takes years and eons. I will say this: we're way over time, but next time we have to talk about when we first got married. We both had our own vehicles, and I had this funky brand new black GT Escort sports car, 5-speed.
At the moment that we purchased it, she did not know how to drive.
Terrence had to teach me how to drive
after she purchased
off the
it.
lot. That was funny. I had to learn after
she got the car.
She
wanted it so bad.
I wanted it so bad, but I was single, and that's the thing. So and I was living with my parents, so I could afford that high car note. But let me tell you, I'm going to walk you through my shame of when we got married. We couldn't afford both car notes. And the expectation of the premier brand new wedding couple, you would think that we would be able to afford things, but it was shameful when so like my family, we lived like maybe 20 minutes away from my side and maybe 30, 35 from his side.
Mm-hmm.
And we had our townhome someplace we could not afford.
Yep.
And then, we already told you after a few weeks, the lights got turned off and his family had to help us. And we could not have paid both car notes. and one of them was going to have to go. And let me tell you, the difficulty and it was not a hard decision. It was an obvious. Mine was higher, but why would it have to be my car? And let me tell you, that left a stone of bitterness, and I was hurt, but I felt cheated. And I'm just being honest because we talk about this so much of what that looks like for the betterment. You think you're ready to give up everything, but I also had this, whether you want to call it a facade, or I felt that my family had an expectation of me to be successful at this point. And to say that my husband and I can't afford, to me, it looked like saying my husband can't afford to take care of me because we can't afford this vehicle.
And that's the way I felt too.
And that's the way he felt. So it was shameful and embarrassing. And it's like having to shatter these systems of thought and ideas, because in my mind, thinking, okay, they're all successful, but they had to build to that moment.
Exactly.
They didn't just get there overnight. They built there, and I was negating that. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And so, it's like hiding my car when they come over, not letting them say I couldn't get the plates renewed, all these kind of shenanigans going through to only face the inevitable that, one day we came home from work and they had, inevitably took about 90 days or so, and they finally just picked up a vehicle, and we were down to one vehicle. And let me tell you, the shame of that and moving through what we were trying to build and not realizing, hey, it takes time, and we had to go through that difficulty.
And that not second year, the third year, I mean, that even though we said we was going to tell about the story next time, but I think it's really important, since we began it, that lesson took years, and the scarring on Cheryl was very long term. That she did not get over that, and she didn't get over it. Even to a certain point now, she got over the car, but the experience was I would have to say, almost for life, because it's a loss. Anybody that experienced any kind of loss, you don't get over that overnight. Right. No matter how much we talked about it, we agreed that it was the best decision to make. We looked on paper and everything else. It was the best thing for us to do financially and everything else. But the emotional scars, the psychological scars that remain for a long time, because it took us a long time to even get out of our financial situation. And we still made dumb financial decisions, in the future. But, but anytime there was a loss, it just kind of also reminded her, I lost my car. I'm losing this. Here I go again.
I start building a laundry list.
Right.
And, we do that.
And Terrence, is your fault.
It's your fault.
And part of it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
I am, as head of the house, a lot of decisions that were made, I should have kind of, planted my foot on. Some decisions that I made, I should have consulted her about. Some decisions I just made on my own, thought that, I don't need to talk to her about it. Didn't
but
communicate.
A part of that,
so a lot of things occurred.
See, we got to go. You open up in a whole nother can. Because it's two different values and two different family. We were raised differently.
Yeah, exactly.
And we came from families that govern financials.
That's very differently.
So all of that, he did what he knew how to do.
Exactly.
And I did because my dad was going to take care of it, So in that, you're looking at that melting again for a common value system. And we didn't get that overnight. We didn't get that in the first 5 years. We didn't get that in the first 7 or 8. Right around 10, it started forming where we had those really hard conversations, and it
we
takes
to tell the truth to each other about
Doris
it.
is saying she can relate. Might be to the car. Might be when Doris said that. But in that, you have to face, you don't have to, getting out of the fact that you have to learn and develop the discipline to deny the voice of other people where you're trying to build something.
Absolutely.
You can't come down off the wall because other people are barking against what you're trying to build. Now, it's a difference in being in a business, in a friendship, in a relationship where it's a constant back and forth of you being torn down, hurt, and being abused, both versus two people trying to build something.
Right.
Whether, again, this can apply to a business, it can be applied to writing, co-authoring or a venture or whatever it is, a ministry, whatever it is, it's very, very different. So you got to kind of look at all of those streams. So we're way over time. We got to go.
But
next week.
Well, there is not going to be a next week because next week we are out of town. So there will not be Monday.
Well, yeah, next Monday. We will not have Monday Morning with the Moors, but we will see you the following Monday.
It's going to be, let's see, that's July, but 27th, 28th, I believe.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks, you'll see us next week. Next Monday, we'll be out of town. I don't know. We might do a quick video or something while we're out of town. Just shoot it around this time. Who knows? You're going to see us on Monday morning in one way, shape, or form. It won't be live, but you'll get a little something from us.
Yeah. So anyway, what you have to, work on what you're building. I think that would be our main theme. Shatter shame, the shattering of shame, so that you can stay focused.
Thank you, Doris.
Thank you so much for safe travels and prayers too. Please, prayers up. So we just appreciate the opportunity to pour that. Just focus and be encouraged on this morning, if we were just to declare that you are a builder and build something that's significant and unique.
Absolutely.
Not a template, not a copycat, not something that's an idea from another realm. But shatter the shame and move forward in the building. Some pieces you'll have to put back up. Some things will have to be for you, right?
Absolutely.
So in that, continue forth and build what God wants. Shatter the shame and not rely on other people's opinions and ideas and expectations to be a template for what you have envisioned deep within who you are. So set your soul on fire, dominate your day, and remain and build beautiful, build big, and build strong.
God bless you. Prayers for you. This Father, just continue to watch over everyone throughout this week and have them have a blessed week. Make it a successful week. In Jesus' name, amen. Love you. We out. See you in 2 weeks live or by tape video, but we'll be back 2 weeks Monday. God bless you. Love you. Take care.